introducing ourselves. Josh, David, and which game should we start with, guys? I think let's start with the
Fulham.
first game that opened Fulham, yeah, and Manchester United.
I think
Josh,
it would be unfair to start with Fulham Manchester United when an Arsenal fan is here and he thinks he's going to win the trophy. So really, just
I,
be fair to him and let's start with Mikel Arteta.
we'll start with Mikel
Wait,
Arteta.
Wolves did some things to them. Eh? They were scared for a bit.
sorry, man.
That's why I was
Jo-
telling you before the game. I had a bad feeling about that game. Even before we started, I was having a chat with Josh, and I just felt something was off. And that's because when you watch our last friendly against
yeah,
what was that French team?
the
Olympic
French
Lyon.
team.
Lyon,
Yeah,
Lyon.
Yes, there were some issues with warm weather, and we had that period where we just, take the foot off the pedal and almost look exhausted.
mm,
And against Lyon, I could see that Lyon wanted to use that window to kind of nick a result. I was concerned the same thing would happen, and I felt like we had that moment in the Wolves game. If you discount the scoreline, there was a period in the
Yeah.
game where it really felt like they could pull the game away. But yeah, we managed somehow.
all right. Thank you. We are going to come back to that so that you tell us exactly what happened, David. Once again, guys, welcoming you to Sports Jazz. David, Josh, we are in the building. I myself, Isaac, talking sports, talking football, to be specific. So, Josh, let's start our weekend preview with the game Manchester United versus Fulham in a game where United won 1-0. One would argue that it wasn't very convincing, and of course, a United fan would say it was very, very convincing. Just walk us through the game. How was the game? What were the highlights of the game?
The game had a lot of highlights, but you should know going into this game, every Man United fan was excited. The place was buzzing. The Premier League could not have advertised itself any better than to pick Manchester United to be opening the league on a Friday when there is no other game. Because I mean, the work that we had done in the transfer window so far, everyone was so excited to see how good were these players. And just a few days before the Friday, before kickoff, we just brought in two new players in Mazraoui and De Ligt. And everyone, even the neutral fan, wanted to see whether the two will play. And a bunch of Arsenal fans were actually hoping that these players get injured on their debut. That's if they play on Friday. But on the whole, the game itself, the game was good. There were improvements that were made from the last time. The last time Fulham was at Old Trafford in Feb.
Where you lost 2-1.
We lost the game 2-1. Yeah, we lost the game 2-1. But coming into this game, we knew the threats that Fulham do pose, and Fulham is not a very easy side. It's not a bogey side for United, but it's not a very easy side for United. We do struggle a bit, though we get over the line. The first 10 minutes of the game, it was a bit cagey, but you would understand because not many of these players have had a full fitness or a match sharp. But as the match went on, there were so many positives from United. There were so many good things about United. From the 4-2-3-1 formation as a starting position, to the 4-2-4 formation, to the 3-1-6 formation. So I mean, to see three formations in one game is quite something. And yeah, you would see that there are things that Ten Hag is doing, and the thing that impressed me the most is at least this season, though it's just one game, the players seemed to be adapting to the ideas of the manager, or they're listening to the instructions, because it was spot on. Apart from the lack of match sharpness, which you could easily see, it was spot on. Then maybe after Davi, I'll give you the highlights of the game, because it's a mouthful.
Shout out to you, Nick Padley, as always. Nick says a quite entertaining game week. Liverpool, Arsenal, and City are all with 2 wins, rather 2-0 wins. That is correct. And Man United 1-0. And Josh, now I still want to come back to you.
Yes.
Before David comes in, let's talk about the highlight of the game, Joshua Zirkzee.
Yeah, just before Joshua Zirkzee, I think the first highlight of the game was Mazraoui.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh, he
oh
had a
my
very, very
God.
decent game.
Oh my God, what a debut. What a debut. You would see exactly, you would see exactly, you would see exactly what you missed from a player like Mazraoui and the one you had before. I mean, like, if Aaron Wan-Bissaka was in that pitch, he wouldn't be doing the things that Mazraoui was doing. Mazraoui did so much. You
He
know,
was so
it's
good
like
going forward.
every touch he did have, I was like, wow, wow, this guy. Oh my God, this guy. Why did we take this long to sign him? You know, but I hope that he remains fit. I was glad that he came off not injured. He came off just because he had played a bit 70 minutes, and the manager felt that it was time for him to go off, and he wasn't injured. Then Joshua Zirkzee, the icing on the cake. When Joshua Zirkzee was brought on, and yeah, what a way to make your debut. Old Trafford, Stratford end. You have about 3 touches on the ball. Then your 4th touch is a goal, and not just a goal, like a striker's goal. A striker's goal. You see the thing that will help Garnacho and Rashford a lot this season is if Zirkzee plays more and he keeps drawing the centre backs to the midfield. They'll vacate spaces which Rashford and Garnacho will exploit because of their pace. It was a beautiful goal, well taken goal.
You've said whatever I should have said or whatever I wanted to say. David, David, did you watch the Fulham Manchester United game?
So, yeah, as we had spoken about Joshua Zirkzee, I was happy for my United colleagues. It's such a relief. I know how it feels when you get a player of that caliber. But we talked about Zirkzee here, and even if we agreed that he's a finisher, we also highlighted his ability to facilitate the forward play, especially in that final third. He's, so to speak, a final third artist of some sort. And you could see that he was involved even in the beginning of that move, right? He had to back. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
David, you ready?
Yeah, carry on, David, carry on.
He has his movements mislead the defense. He runs forward with them and then drops back to receive in the space. And then, he's just a very interesting player to watch. He's doing a lot of things in a very subtle way. And as we could see, he also has the instinct of a finisher. Because that was like you just called it, Joshua. That was a striker's finish. It was just instinctive. There was no planning. He just instinctively tapped the ball.
Imagine if you had, imagine if Mount was still on.
Oh God.
Well,
no, George, I'm saying
not the same thing, but I see
of
where
course
the
not the
value
same thing.
is for
You get my point.
Mount. Yeah.
I also see the value for Mount in the side, but football has evolved. You cannot be on the pitch doing only that. I mean, you have to be able to create. You have to be able to help your team in other ways. You're playing one of the most important roles in a team, you see. But you cannot be not even a facilitator. He plays the role of a facilitator, but he's just kicking people around. His job is to chase.
In a team like United,
I understand.
Even if you're doing all those other things, you have that unmentioned onus to actually produce that
yes,
whether it's stated or not, they'll
just
expect
slightly,
to have some to score a goal or two every now and then. But for moments when well, there will be moments when it really looks like Manu. I suspect Manu will start to over depend on Zirkzee, especially if he keeps producing that way.
That is not
Let's see how
fair.
that goes.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that is not a good thing.
I totally see
Anyway,
that
guys,
happening.
yeah, I still think Mount shouldn't be. I mean, he's good if he comes on as a squad player. I mean, comes on from the bench. Garnacho, I still again insist should start ahead of ahead of Rashford coming in. Coming in from the left, and yeah, Diallo is having a decent. He's adjusting. He should also start. The back line,
I think Diallo should
Maguire
be a start.
should be off
But
next time when they're starting. Yeah, Josh, and of course
Isaac, if I
Mazarawi
may,
and Dalot. Yeah,
yeah, you should know that Garnacho went and played at the Copa America. He won the
mm,
Copa America. He had some time off
yeah,
to celebrate. That's Argentina. Long trip
yeah.
back. Came back to United very late. Probably has trained for about 10 days. Played a lot of football last season. In the manager's defense, I mean, Garnacho should not have started the game. He rightly sat him out, and to bring him on later was just to give him a few minutes to help get him ready for the future. But
Mm,
there was no problem not starting Garnacho. And for Rashford's case, just like Mount, I told
mm,
you before when we did the watch along.
mm,
The manager knows that there's a player in there, and he wants to actually revive that player. For a guy like Rashford, you see so much. There's so much hope in what he can give you on a good day. So you hope that that carries on and he keeps doing that. And the only way to actually get him in in good stead is to give him game time.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
so you think it was the
I
right?
understood that decision. Yeah. Even the
It was,
decision for Mount, because Mount could not be judged last season.
yeah.
He could not be judged last season, so they have to give him game time. We have to see what he's about, so we can write him off. He's on our books for a lot of money, so it is not easy to just kill that asset by keeping him on the bench.
Anyway, I still think he shouldn't be, at least until he's fit, because there are lots of players in the United team, very many players, lots of players that do perform better than him. I don't know, and I hope next in your next game against Brighton, Fernandez plays in his role behind Zirkzee, and of course Zirkzee leading the line.